Good morning. Good morning. Tell me something good that happened over the weekend.
Mhm.
Something good. Something good that happened. Either
I'm
real
healthy and
estate.
alive.
Katya, did you show some lease properties?
Yes,
Okay, awesome.
I did. And I'm in
Okay,
communication with the office. Thank you for answering my question.
all right, all right, all right. Hold on, where's wait? What happened to my slideshow? Do you see the slideshow?
No,
Yes?
no.
No. Huh. Okay. Oh, I know what happened. Let's try now. Oh, no, 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 no. No, todavía no. Not yet. Okay. Share, stop. Technical difficulties. There. First, I share. No, I start the slideshow, and then I have to go to Zoom and share. Then click share, and then this share. Okay, how about now?
Yes.
Okay. All right, now you see the screen. Perfect. Okay. Um, as salespeople, what are we selling, right? Oftentimes we think we're selling a house or selling a dream, and some people want to make it sound like I sell dreams, right? But at the end of the day, I think we are selling our service, and I think what I you have to showcase how good you are, so people can choose you and you can be their agent. So that's why I picked this topic, because I think it's really important that we know how to brag about our abilities, right?
Right.
So I'd like to share some different ways to self promote without sounding annoying, because I think that's the challenge a lot of us have. Um, and I'm sure you all have your own way of bragging or self promoting. And so I'd like to hear that too. So shared. Feel free to jump in at any time. And depending on what the topic of, like the different ways of doing it, just feel free to jump in. Okay. Okay. So we are we all on Facebook and social media, right? We've seen these kinds of posts before. Top agent, uh, top 20, like top 1%. It, I think it's really funny that every realtor is a top agent in their own mind. No, I really wonder if our clients actually know what that means. Um, and I see a lot of people say, "Oh yeah, I'm top 50 out of an office of 500 people." They have to mention out of 500 people. Have you heard that before? Right? Uh, when you're number one and you have the gold medal, you're gold medalist, you're number one. You just say I'm number one in the entire world. That's Olympic Games. And here we are in this top 10, top 50, top 20, and having to mention how many other people are out there. It's kind of lame. So now, if you must post something like this, and that's fine, I understand. Don't post it yourself. Tell me or Christy or anyone in the office, and I'll post it on your behalf, and I'll tag you. Okay. So now it looks like it sounds like a third party review or promotion, and so it's very different. You know, if Fernando says, "Yeah, I'm a badass realtor, like I'm number one," or whatever, right? It's a lot more efficient if I posted on his behalf. Let's say Fernando is one of the top agents for the month, right? I'll take the same photo with Fernando's face on there, and then I'm gonna post it and say, "Man, Fernando, I'm so proud of you. You did a great job helping your clients. Man, you got your clients are lucky to have you as their agent. Well done, man. Cheers for many more," or something like that, right? I'm posting it. So now all Fernando's friends see that. It's like, oh wow. I think it's totally different. So if you must post something like this, please reach out. Let me know, and I'll help you brag about my agents here because we're all rock stars. Is that a deal?
Love
Can you
it.
guys? Yeah, can you guys do that? Right?
Yeah.
Like Katia just got a new listing, and so instead of her posting, I said, no, you're not posting anything. I'm gonna take a photo, and I'm gonna tag you, and I post it on Facebook. I got a ton
Great.
of likes. Right? Like Emily, for example, she passed her exam. I'm so happy she did. She's going to get her license pretty soon. And so when we walk over to the office, it's going to be another post. Oh my God, Emily, you worked, you studied, yeah, whatever. You passed the exam. Welcome to the exciting world of real estate, something like that. And I tag her, and then her friends are going to see it. And actually, this idea came from an accident. There was, 2-3 years ago, I had it was a great month. That was like almost 4 million in production in 1 month. And I was so happy about it. And I got a award and I was dying to post it. But I was like, no, I can't post it myself. So I walk over to Christy's office. I say, hey, Christy, take a photo of this and post it and tag me. And she did. And then suddenly, oh my God, everybody's like, yeah, Ho is awesome. Ho is awesome. Right? When you self-promote, people, they may give you a like, but it doesn't go too far.
It always looks better coming from somebody else. I remember that.
Always.
And I was happy to do it for you, but it definitely always looks better if somebody's giving me acknowledgement. I don't want to post about myself. I want somebody else to do it and tag me. And I'm like, oh.
So I was suggesting we are a team here in this market center.
Yes.
Nobody succeeds alone.
Mm-hmm.
And we're here to push each other, like promote each other, right?
For sure.
So, like let's say Karen is going to get this offer accepted on this off-market property. And when she does, Karen, you're going to come to the office. We're going to take another photo and I'm going to post it. I'm going to say, man, Karen is such a badass. Her clients are bidding out, like, and then she found this off market and bam, done deal. Dude, how do you do that? And things like, if I were not a realtor, I would hire you to sell my house.
Mm-hmm.
Great.
And reach out to somebody in the office if you guys need that kind of promotion or something's happened and you need a win online. We're happy to do it, whether it's Ho or myself.
So promise that you guys are going to do that, please. So let's go over some of these bragging, what I call techniques. Bragggalog. There's something called the Bragggalog. And I think it's more like, so you use the conversational story-like manner with pride, enthusiasm, and passion. if you know you're good at something and you have great achievements and you're able to share that with potential clients or friends and people in the database, and you're able to do that with like conviction, man, it comes off like a lot better. And by the way, um, think, look at the Hollywood movie, all the movies that we've um, watched and loved. The very fundamental, I think, the formula that the movie writers do, they don't say, okay, this is Brad Pitt. He's like the main character. And of course, he's the big name, right? But it doesn't say he's the good guy, and then like I'm the bad guy in the movie. The movie just has a flow, and throughout the movie goer comes to the conclusion that, oh my God, he's the good guy. He's such a badass. He's gonna get the girl. And when he does, wow, we gotta do the similar thing. When we talk to clients, we have to make them believe that they came to the conclusion that we are a great agent. By us saying, hey, hire me, I'm the top agent. The moment you say that, the customer's reaction is, well, really? Prove it. Okay. So now you're already up against it's an uphill battle at that point. Instead, we got to come up with techniques where the client comes to the conclusion that we are the badass. They conclude it, and then they want to work with us. And at the end of the day, it was their idea. The day you're achieving that, then you have become the Zen master of bragging. And I think we can all get there. Um, there's bad bragging and good bragging. I think we've all experienced bad bragging, the annoying people. I think we all have that one friend that does it. Anybody come to mind, and without mentioning name, of course, share here. Give me an example of people that brag and they shouldn't be bragging. Anybody?
Call on somebody.
Or maybe
We've all got it.
you brag it and I was like, oh, I shouldn't have said that. No?
I mean, of course, yeah. Yeah.
Like I'm a great sales manager because I'm good with people. At the end of the month, I always get the top numbers.
Right.
Right?
Right.
Or, when I first hired as a sales manager, I never knew what a great fit it would be for my skills and personality.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
the job brings together my, skills and ability to bring out the best in people. This
I
is the
say it, and
perfect
it doesn't
industry.
sound right. It's like, why am I saying that? That's how
Right.
I end up feeling. Like whenever I say that about myself. Yeah.
How about I had a neighbor, Keith. So I have two daughters. He has one daughter. His daughter age is right in between like my two daughters. So they were born, my daughter was born in 96, his daughter was 97, and my other daughter is 98. All right. So they all three went to the same school together, carpool, did a lot of activities together. He moved away to La Cañada, Flint Ridge. I moved away to Palos Verdes. And then the kids never saw each other. They went to different schools, different colleges. And wow, I think this is like 12 years later. 10 years later, Keith calls me out of the blues. He never called me. He calls me out of the blues, like, hey, Ho, how's it going? How's the family? And I'm like, hey, good to hear from you. And he says, wow. So how are your daughters? I was like, oh yeah, they're good. It's like, man, well, they should be one should be in college and the other one like applying or what? Well, like, yeah. They're doing fine. And they say, so where did Tiffany go? He's asking like, oh, she went to USC. She's playing the violin. He's like, wow, that's awesome, man. And then he says, how about Emily? It's like, Emily, I think she's gonna end up going to UCLA. She's talking to some, the rowing crew at UCLA. I don't know. We'll see. Wow, you should be so proud, right? Okay, he asked me all this. So now, of course, it's my turn to ask. So how's Amber? Amber is his daughter. Like, man, I don't know. I keep telling her to stay in California, but man, I think she's gonna go to East Coast. Yeah, she's gonna go to East Coast. It's like East Coast is great. Where's she gonna go? Man, you know, that man, it's so expensive. Yeah, she picked Yale. So this whole call out of the blues, it was just to tell me that Amber was gonna go to Yale. Or was it Princeton? I don't know, one of the two.
Wow.
Do you see what people the length
Dance
and
around it to be able to talk about themselves.
the trouble they'll go through to talk about themselves?
Mhm.
But that was like, it was horrible. That was like, I could see right through it. And of course, man, Keith, you should be proud, man. Amber is great. Da, 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 da. And I'm like, okay, whatever. So there are instances like that. And I think human beings are the people that we work with. They're not stupid. And so don't make the mistake of thinking they're going to fall for it because it's insulting.
Right.
And that is the part that you have to understand. People don't like people that, let's say, okay, one of you guys lied to me, right? People lie to people because they think they can get away with it.
Mhm.
But then if I can see right through you and I'm like, man, you're lying to me. And you think I'm going to fall for this? The fact that you lied to me is not the part that bothers me. The part that bothers me is like, you think I'm that dumb. Okay. So the same thing with bragging. We cannot underestimate people. These are the humble brags, for example, are the stuff that we got to stop. It's like you see on social media, Twitters and, posts and memes. Here's some examples of humble brags. Humble bragging gone bad, in my opinion. Writing 3 offers in a day is so tiring, but so rewarding. Hashtag exhausted but happy realtor. Stuff like that. Or I wish I had more time to work out, but my buyers need me. Hashtag returning calls at the gym. Okay. Or like
Are you taking
battery.
these with me? I'm just kidding.
Huh?
I'm just kidding. I've never used these.
Let's be real. We all do this to an extent or another, but we gotta tone it down and make it a little
Yeah.
upper division. Like battery on phone, about to die from too many contract negotiations. Hashtag need a busy realtor iPhone battery. Like all these hashtags are so ridiculous too. I'm just, hey, look, you be you. I'm just, and by the way, the whole purpose of this session is I need to bring to surface things that you already know, but I just need to highlight the importance of these things. That's the only reason. So the real good salespeople, they're really good at writing their own story. We want to highlight our accomplishments, the skills that we have, and you put them together in a story. You have the narrative, you control your story. What are you good at? What are some of these accomplishments? List them, write them down. And once you have a clear vision of that list, stuff like your past transactions, things that where you were able to negotiate. As an example, let's say you want to buy a car and you were able to negotiate a great deal. How did that go? I'm sure you can kind of package it in a storytelling format and tell it to the world in a really passionate way. And people will be like, oh my God, you're such a good negotiator. That's what we need to do. There are backhanded compliments. Know them, use them. And seriously, you got to practice the skill. It's a skill set. It's almost like being a con artist without conning people. Okay, don't con people. I never said that, but it's kind of like that. So once you have these, really work on writing a story you can tell with passion and conviction. You know, let's go over some examples. I like this is a prospecting call that I love doing, and it's not just a phone call. Every time I see friends and people in my database, this is part of a regular conversation. You know, prospecting call, for example, it goes something like this. Hey, Gary, I need your help, man. And this, of course, these are people that I know and they know me, they like me, and they trust me. And you go on, and I go on to say, you know, lately, every listing I take goes in escrow in a week. It's crazy out there. So look, I'm out of inventory. Help me out. Who do you know that wants to move? Really? The market is that crazy? So of course, he doesn't know anybody at the time, but it's an opener for people to ask me, so what do you mean crazy? Like prices are skyrocket or what, you know? So now it's an opportunity for me to continue with storytelling. Okay. So if you have the storytelling already set up, this example, it will be a great way to start that conversation. Fernando, get off mute and just read this. Can you make sound natural?
Yeah, I can do it. Hey,
Right.
Gary, I need your help. Lately, you're saying make it sound natural. My
Yeah,
mistake.
yeah. So you have to, you see.
Yeah.
So no, practice, like read it through and then say it again and again. It takes practice, man. It's not easy.
It does. It does. It does.
And throw in a little here and there. Yeah, haha, whatever you like.
I say, all right. Hey ho, I need your help.
What's up?
How you been, by the way?
Busy.
Yeah. Well, I've been pretty busy as well. You know, lately every escrow I've been taking in, it goes away
Every
in a week.
listing. No, every listing you take.
Okay. Yeah. Lately every listing I take goes in escrow in a week. Okay. Let
Whoa.
me practice it. Let me practice it. Let me
Yeah,
practice
so
it.
repeat. It's okay. And by the way, all of you will have to do this
Yeah.
at some point.
Okay. Hey ho, how's it going?
Hey, what's up, man?
Pretty well, pretty well. I've been busy myself.
All right.
How's your day?
Yeah, kind of going Monday. Yep, kind of
Yeah.
slow.
Well,
What's up?
well, I was wondering if you could help me out with an issue I've been having.
Ooh, what do you got?
Yeah. Oh, lately every listing I take goes into escrow in a week. You know, I've been kind of running out of
Wow.
inventory. I was wondering if you have anyone that's willing to sell these days.
Wait, what do you mean a week? In a week, it goes in escrow?
Yeah, that's correct. You know, I think it's been a hefty market these days.
Well, you see, but you piqued my attention. Like you got my attention. Like everything is in escrow in a week, right?
And then go into the parts that get people's attention, you know, going,
Yeah.
every property is a bidding war right now.
Yeah.
Sellers are getting the maximum equity out of their property, and I literally have no properties on inventory. So I mean, just, you know, when you hear somebody go into a question like, whoa, and you got their attention, feed into that part of it.
So what happens in people's mind here? Clearly, you know, everything. Clearly, it's the call for I need your help. I'm out of inventory.
But it's still bragging though.
Yes,
With
yes.
what you said,
No,
every
it's
That it is.
goes into escrow in a week. I
Yeah.
mean, that's a brag right there, because in a normal market, that doesn't happen, right?
yeah,
So
but
people
you
take it as a market or yourself, you're doing a phenomenal job, whichever one it is. But it's a bragging without directly saying, oh my God, I'm the best agent ever. Frick, can you believe every property I'm selling goes into escrow immediately? I don't have to say that. If you do it this way,
Yep.
there's a possibility. One, you're showing you're working hard. Market's crazy, but you're also asking for business, but you're not bragging. It's an indirect brag. Anyway, sorry, go on.
So, you know, it's like, again, it's your tactic to make the person come to the conclusion that you're a killer, like listing agent. Okay. That's the conclusion that they will come to. All you do is plant a little seed, you know, and
And
it's
then
like,
guide them.
man, and I'm out of inventory. Dude,
Yeah.
you know, so another one is, yeah, the market is crazy, multiple offers, you know, bidding war. And so this could be like the continuation of that first call. And it's like, you know, you say, man, there are frustrated buyers everywhere. My realtor friends are having such a strong, like tough time getting offer accepted. You got to work your magic with the listing agents. Get the inside scoop, find out what's the highest offer. And thank God my clients listen to me. So when I tell them what to do, I get offers accepted. So it's crazy, but dude, you got to be tricky here. So this is something that one of the agents I know, he kind of said it like that. And I was like taking notes. I was like, man, he didn't sound braggy at all. And he was like, thank God my clients listen to me. They're coachable. They really want to buy a house. So it's not him that did the trick, although the underlying message is, but he's like highlighting his clients are the ones that actually bought the house. So, I mean, you can already think there are many different ways to, get this kind of stuff, to highlight. It's planting the seed. This one I found, this one worked accidentally. The client complaint turns into a backhanded compliment. And it wasn't really a complaint. It was kind of like a first world problem, kind of whiny thing. So I listed a property in Montebello a couple years ago. I got the listing signed in October. It was going to hit the market in November. And with the holidays coming up, I say, look, I know you guys travel a lot. So we might be closing escrow during the holidays. But because of the holidays, we might have to just wait until after the holidays. And for whatever reason, so she was selling her mom's house, right? And the house was full of stuff, like the garage, like things from her college days. And because what she only heard what she wanted to hear, we're gonna close escrow after the holidays because she loves traveling. She's out traveling all the time. Well, guess what? After a few open houses, 10 days later, I get multiple offers, and it's in escrow. So I tell her, look, close of escrow is going to be, when was it? December. It was just before Christmas. And she was traveling. She had a few days to come back in town, clean out the garage, and then take off to another trip again. So she didn't have much time. So she comes back, she cleans the garage. And then after she was done, she was supposed to hand me the garage opener. And I'm like, Liz, why don't you meet me at the Friends of the Vine? It's a wine bar that we usually go to. I said, okay, perfect. You know what? You owe me some wine. I have a dent in my finger. You made me clean my garage. Like you said, it was gonna sell. It won't sell until like after holidays. So she's whining because I sold it too quickly. So I said, perfect. I'll buy you an entire bottle of wine. And she's kind of loud. So I know she's going to storm into the wine bar, look at me and say, I can't believe you sold my house so quickly, kind of like that. It was all planned at that point. And then she comes in, sure enough. Hey, Fred, get her a bottle of something, whatever she wants. I feel bad. It's like, Fred goes, what did you do? Fred is the owner of the wine bar. It's like, oh, what did you do? Like, and then now Liz takes over and she tells a story, the entire episode to the entire bar. Everyone is sitting at the bar. Everyone is listening to her. And everyone but her, everyone's like, well, Ho did the job that he was supposed to do. You hired him to sell your mom's house and he did in record time. Why are you complaining? He's like, well, I'm not complaining about that. It's just look at my finger. And I had to move the boxes. So that was a magical moment in that bar at that time because she made me look really good. And I'm sure there are episodes like that in your life where similar things might have happened. Okay, so really be clear and like take notes, remember, write things down so that you can come up with episodes. Great salespeople are really good at storytelling.
Mhm.
And so when you practice, so this is, when people say like, well, houses are selling quick. And then I say, well, I don't know, man. Some people don't like it when it sells too quickly. I was like, really? Who? I was like, oh man, I had this client. She travels so much, so wealthy, and she needed to clean and I go through this whole freaking thing. I was like, man, can you believe it? I had to buy a whole bottle of $150 Pinot Noir because she was upset at me because she had to clear the garage in between the trips. And I just leave it at that. It's just a fun story. And it's something like kind of underlining, like hidden message it is, I get the job done. Do you have any things similar like that? Any, come on, stories.
Let me think.
Um,
It's not really a backhanded compliment, but I was in a situation where I won a listing over the existing prominent agent that was known for farming that area, and he dominated that neighborhood. And the guy took a really big gamble on hiring me. And long story short, his neighbor had made a bet with him saying that I wouldn't get him the amount that this other agent would have gotten him. Right. And of course I got him $30,000 more, but he came to me and he lost a $500 bet to his neighbor that he had to pay because I got him into escrow for $30,000 more than what he believed he would have gotten if he had gone. So that was kind of, he was mad at me, but he was happy. So it's kind of like, I was like, well, you're mad at me, but you're really happy. Like, I did something you obviously didn't think I was gonna do. You made a bet on it. Now you're paying $500. He's basically telling me to pay the $500. I was like, no. Anyways, but that happened. That was remember that property where we did that champagne pop
was that the
thing?
one on Anza?
Yep, the one. I'll say his name. Frank Kinney dominates that little neighborhood.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And
It
he
took
was gonna hire Frank Kinney, and he took a risk with me, and but his neighbor and him made a bet, so he
no.
had.
I remember you getting a lot of offers, so that went above this. But I didn't know about the bet.
Yeah, the bet was interesting, and he was not happy that he had to pay the $500.
So
But
I think we all have episodes like that. So how
Yeah.
do we package it so we can deliver and
yeah, it makes
have
good story.
a message?
Yeah,
Okay, think about stuff like that.
yeah.
And a lot of the stuff that helps me is reading. Okay, so these are 3 books that I suggest. Brag, The Art of Tuning Your Own Horn. Another one is How to Work a Room. Okay, and the other one is Brag Better. Okay, Lynn, for example, she has kids, and her kids are really talented with the piano and other things. You want to brag about your kids,
Mhm.
right? Emily, don't you want to brag about your kids? I always do. I'm proud of my daughters.
I do too.
Yeah. And how
Yeah.
do we do this in a way that you don't sound like a dick? It's an art.
Mhm.
And I noticed that people that are pretty good salespeople are people that have started this bragging thing early on in their life because they had kids and they were proud of their kids. When my kids got accepted to college, I couldn't wait to tell the world like where they're gonna go. And then I'm like, okay, how do I get this message out? And it was like there's a little level of humbleness. It's a combination of kind of like cool thing.
Mhm.
So I suggest all of these different books. And if you don't want to listen, read books, there are audios. Also, there are several educational or like, TED Talk. TED Talk has oftentimes a short, like 10, 15-minute lecture on several topics related to bragging. So I suggest you look into that too. Um, I think planting the seed is a technique that works really well. Gosh, when was it? This is like 5, 6 years ago. I met a couple in my open house in Redondo Beach. They came in, Chris and Ross. Chris and Ross coming to my open house. Hi, welcome to my open house. Come on in. Feel free to roam around. And he said, hey, so how did you find my open house? Find out about my open house? Signs or what? He's like, oh, my realtor gave me a list to visit. I said, awesome. Who's your realtor? Melissa something something. And then I said, Melissa, huh? Is she from out of area or a new agent? Because I know a lot of, well, maybe I don't know everybody. Well, okay. I'm sure she'll, take good care of you.
That
Is
right
it-
there creates a lot of doubt in somebody's mind.
Right. And then the wife says, well, she's my high school friend from the San Fernando Valley. It's like,
Oh,
oh, San Fernando Valley. That's why I don't know her. And then the husband, immediately he rolls his eyes. San Fernando Valley, like that. Because every time they want to see a property, all she does is sends a list. And so Ross is frustrated because he never gets any, she doesn't have a realtor, And the only way to see a property is open house. She never comes down. And I said, look, I'm sure you value your relationship with your friend. Have you considered hiring a local expert like me to help you find the property here? It's like, wow, she's my friend. It's like, I totally get it. I'll tell you though, if my brother called me today to list his house, I don't think I would do that. It's like, what do you mean? I was like, well, you see, I value the relationship that his wife has with my wife. I don't want to mess with that. So I'm not even touching his house for sale or anything like that. I'll probably tell him to hire somebody else. Anyways, I'm sure Melissa is going to do a fine job. They leave. And then like 2 weeks later, Ross calls me. Hey, ho, this is Ross. Remember my wife and I was like, oh yeah, Ross, what's up? Hey, we're standing in front of this house. Can you come by and help us out? I was like, is this an open house? He's like, yeah. I said, well, it's open. Go check it out. Wait, aren't you with Melissa or something? Why are you calling me? Yeah, so we decided to not work with her. So we'd like you to help us. And I'll be right over. So the power of planting the seed is the most, one of the very powerful ones, because they think it over and then they make a decision they're going to do something. And when they do, that's how willingly they will do. And I sold them a house in no record time. Actually, that house that they called me from, we wrote the offer the following day. We got the offer accepted. Yeah, that's the one they bought. So these are just examples. There's so many examples. I love sharing examples because I need more people to be aware that the same exact things happen in your life. I guarantee you. It's just that you're not paying attention. It's just happening. So I need you to bring the awareness level up. And so I want you to really go back in all the different glorious moments of your life. Katia, you probably had a glorious moment in your life, not just one, several. Fernando, V, Nitia, Karen. Karen is having a fantastic, fun time right now. She's going back and forth with different agents and yeah. Karen, what do you think? How are you going to package these success stories later?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
How am I gonna, that's a great question, but I don't know the answer.
Well, you know what I mean.
I do know what you mean. I'm right now. Okay, so let me ask you this. So I am finding a lot of success when I am in great communication with the listing agent.
Okay.
I think I'm finding that a lot of, I specialize in buyers.
Mm,
So I'm finding that a lot of buyers agents don't reach out to listing agents. They don't. They
yeah.
just text or send the offer. But I
Biggest
can't.
no-no, biggest no-no ever. I love what I'm hearing. Go ahead, sorry.
No problem. So I am getting in such rapport with all of these listing agents because now I have buyers and there's low inventory, right? So because you talked about that at the beginning of the Zoom, it's like, oh, there's low inventory. So you're going to go into multiple offers. Who are they going to favor? They're going to favor the person who called them and asked them all the right questions. And the more questions you ask, the better it is, because you're starting to find out what's important to the seller, what's important to the listing agent. And then you,
Right.
in a way, tailor your conversation, your emails, your offer to help satisfy those needs.
Please
And it doesn't mean that
buyer. Yes, go on. Oh, I'm
it
getting.
doesn't mean that you're going to win,
Mhm.
right? Because right now, what I'm learning is at the end of the day, the person with the highest offer is going to win. But you know what? I've got a couple in first position backup offer, and escrows fall out all the time. So even though, and it also makes you look good for the client because they know for sure that you did your absolute best because you're able to answer all their questions like, why are the sellers moving? And other questions like that.
But can I also say something else as a listing agent? I want a buyer's agent like you. So what'll happen is as you're creating all of these relationships with other listing agents in the market, whether or not people claim it happens, I do it. I tell my clients I do it. I have no problem with doing this. When somebody likes you on the other end, I'm going to go out of my way to say, you know what, Karen, I think you're awesome. You've been great to work with. You communicate great. Whatever, right? I'm going to go above and beyond to let you know where you probably also need to be with your buyer. Even if whether or not you can get there because your buyer's whatever is irrelevant. The fact is I'm going to give you the advantage as a buyer's agent because I like you, you communicate, you don't just send in blank offers that I'm going to have to counter anyways. There's dialogue. And as a listing agent, people are going to like you as a listing agent, which means your buyers have the advantage because odds are if I got 3 offers or 4 offers or 5 offers, I know it's a crazy market, but if you're one of them and I already know that I like you, I'm going to probably pick up the phone or the first time I talk to you, say, you know what, Karen, I've got 3 on the plate. My sellers are looking for X, Y, and Z. This is what's important to them. And right now, if you can come in a little bit higher than this person, I could probably get yours accepted. That's the conversations that happen. And that's why a client has an advantage or a disadvantage for working with certain agents. If you're a secret agent and nobody knows you, you're doing yourself and your clients a disservice.
That's exactly right. And that's exactly what happened to me last week. It was right. You were spot on with what you said. And the listing agent, said, your first position backup offer. However, you're on speed dial now. The minute I get another listing, you're the first person I'm calling so that your clients can get a preview.
Right.
Oh yeah. You see?
And you guys
Bam.
keep in mind on what Ho's saying whenever I'm going to interject this and then I have to log off, Ho. Keep in mind that other people are just like what we're talking about. They want to brag and they don't know how to. So an agent on the other side do things that makes them look good to their clients. This goes back to trying to find open houses when things open back up or whatever. I tell people all the time, because if I'm a listing agent, I've got agents all the time asking me, can I host your open house? What's going to make you set apart from another agent? I always tell people, I want the agent that's going to make me look amazing and I can brag to my client about. So if you're looking for an open house, contact that agent and say, hey, by the way, whenever you let me host your open houses, I know that what's important to you is you looking amazing to your client. So that means I'm going to show up early. I'm going to never leave, I'm going to never leave before I'm supposed to. I'm going to give you a full report of the dialogue and the feedback that day. That way, when you're not there, you can go back to your seller and say, this was the feedback. This was the outcome. They look like a savior. Otherwise, their seller going, how did the open house go? And that client, that agent was not present. So make it to where this agent that you're working with on the other side can boast and feel good and look like a savior to their client. Let them know that you get that. Anyways, I've got to go.
All right. Cool.
Nice topic, Ho. Enjoy.
Thank you.
Actually, I
Thank
just
you,
thought of
Christy.
something too. Be surrounded and have partners in crime, because there are things that, like, let's say, because I know exactly what other things Karen has had done to get, escrows accept open or whatever, right? Let's say Karen and I are hanging out and we have other people around us. And so, typically people ask, hey, how do you know Karen? Or how do you know, how do you know each other, right? I'll probably end up with something like, oh yeah, Karen, we work together. Dude, man, Karen, you have no idea what she does to get escrows, offers accepted, and buyers and sellers in escrow. She's a badass. And start there. And you want to always hang out with people that make you look good in front of other people. So that's somebody else doing the bragging for you. So have friends like that. Um, so the client that had a ding in her finger and I bought her a bottle of wine. Okay, she's one of my raving fans, and every time she has friends coming over for dinner or any gathering, she's always inviting me because she says, oh, you have to meet these people. Oh, this one owns this one runs that kind of business, and she connects me with everybody. And then when I show up, they say, oh, how do you guys know each other? And she's like, oh, no, oh my God, he sold my mom's house so quickly. No, he's my realtor. I bought this house with him. He sold my Long Beach property. Like, and she talks like that. Of course, you want to hang out with people that are raving fans of you. And so each opportunity that you have, go the extra mile so that you have these people around you, and you make the bragging part a lot easier and more natural. So these are the books I recommend if you're into reading books. I understand people don't like learning new things, like reading books is one of them. But this is one of my favorite quotes. Like Jim Rohn said, "Don't wish you were easier, wish you were better." Okay, and once you have this attitude of learning base, everything becomes easier. And I think through this series of exchanging ideas and making you just aware, you probably know all of this. We're all grown adults. It's just I need to bring all of these different thoughts to the surface of, like, it's probably all hidden and buried in your mind, but I just want to bring these topics up so that you're aware, and every time you're communicating with people, you're more purposeful. Because who here watched 007 movies, James Bond movies? We all seen James Bond movies, right? Okay. The 007 agent is the badass agent. He does everything. He can drive, he skydives, he's like, he knows kung fu, like arts, like he gets all the girls, he even wins poker games. Okay, he saves the planet, he does freaking everything. Okay. And so imagine yourself being the 007 agent in real estate and keeping it cool, calm, collected when things get heated. Yeah, that's what I envision. All of you being 007 agents. And then it's like, oh my God, the tenants are not moving out in time. Like we're going to cancel escrow. You have drama in the transaction, but it's okay. You got me. You got a 007 agent here. And boom, you saved the planet. I'd love to see that. So KW Silicon Beach, packed with 007 agents. Yeah. So I don't know. I have a lot of different ideas. Let's connect. Contact me. If you scan this QR code, you have access to my calendar. You can book a calendar appointment whenever you need. Connect on Instagram, Facebook, so that I can brag about you guys. Clubhouse, if you want to learn more about becoming a better person with more skill. Yeah, Instagram and Facebook. Connect so that I can take photos of your achievement and tag you and brag about you. That's my goal. Fair? Any questions? Comments?
Hi, Hall. Thank you for today's lesson.
Hi, Emily.
I really enjoyed it, and learning how to brag is so important. So just go back to what Karen was sharing about. She will connect to the listing agent to actually get the process like faster and easier.
Mhm.
I wonder, like for agent like me, will be super new in this field. So of course I know no one. Would they be like better way, like we will go to you or Christy, like, hey, do you think you know this listing agent and maybe we can through you to get the connection? Or it's always better we do like just auto blank, like, hey, I'm Emily, I'm the buyer's agent. Like, what would you recommend in this
Well,
situation?
both ways fine. I mean, you have to be outgoing and energetic. Okay. So
Mhm.
that's great. And also it helps when, you're about to write an offer, and then every time somebody calls me, hey, I'm writing an offer for my buyer. And I say, okay, who's the listing agent? That's my very first question every time. Okay.
Okay.
And then I look up that agent on Facebook. Okay. And then let's see if I'm friends with that agent already. If I am, I'm going to call them. So let's say Fernando has a listing and I know Fernando, he's the listing agent. Emily, you're writing an offer, right? You don't know each other. I say, hey, Fernando, this is Ho. What's up? Like, hey, one of my agents is writing an offer on the property. Her name is Emily. I'm just like, how many offers you got? I'm going to ask you things. Okay. And because Fernando is my buddy, he's going to give me some information. Okay. Say, yeah. All right, cool. Hey, take good care of Emily. She's a great agent. She's going to write an offer. All right, cool. Okay. Now, hey, Emily, I spoke to Fernando. He has 3 offers. They seem to be about list price. I think if you write it just maybe $15,000 above list price, you might be the top contender. I don't know. That's the vibe that I got. So, and I told him you're gonna send an offer. It's a much smoother, much better introduction than just total stranger.
Okay.
I don't know
Can I,
why
can I add
people.
to that?
Huh?
Can I add to that?
Yeah, add it.
Um, I know what it's like to be a new agent. So I understand how all the challenges, especially at the beginning. But I will say this, I have learned that when you call somebody, a complete stranger, a listing agent, it's not about you, it's about your client.
Mm.
That's the first thing. So it makes it a little bit easier because you could say like, okay, I'm doing whatever I can to get into escrow and close escrow for my client. So my number one focus is that. And then the second focus is, I think most humans like to help each other. So if you were to call a listing agent and say, hey, I'm admittedly new, I need your help. I think you'll find a lot more compassion and empathy than you would think.
Agree.
I found a lot of people to be a lot more helpful than I ever thought they would be. And if it's not them, let's say it's a rock star, top producing listing agent, someone in their office is probably in charge of that particular listing, and they want to help too, because they want to be in escrow and have a closed escrow just as much as you do.
Thank you, Karen.
You're welcome.
Hey,
Thank
Karen,
you.
have you ever run into agents, and this will be the complete opposite of your approach?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know who I am? Do you know how long I've been doing this? Do you know
Yeah.
who you've seen those,
Absolutely.
right?
Oh my God, believe me. And they, and again, it's just, you have to, it can be tough, but it's like, if you're able to put your ego out of it and be as humble and have as much humility as possible, you'd be surprised. Even the biggest jerks will be like, oh man, I can't be that much of a jerk to this person because they're not responding to me. They're just if someone says to me, do you know who I am? I say, yes, you're whatever. You're a top producer. Yeah, I've heard about you. Whether it was good or bad, I don't have to say that part. I just, oh yeah, I've heard about you. Wow, you do a lot of business. Whatever it takes. And I just try to stay in my integrity. And if I don't particularly care for the person, I don't have to say anything that's not nice, but I can say things like, yeah, I've heard about you. Wow, you do a lot of business. Things that are truthful, but sound like a compliment can get you a long way, because I think everyone, especially in this business, is so hard. Everyone needs a compliment.
Wait,
And
Karen,
even those types of people will help you.
have you been watching Godfather movies?
Yes, that's
Okay,
my number one favorite movie.
because that's how gangsters do it.
I am a gangster.
They get everything they want. They get everything they want, and yet the other side gets the impression that they get what they want.
That's the
Right.
idea.
Yeah.
The Godfather is my favorite movie. Number
So
one.
Karen mentioned ego, and this book came to mind.
Oh, I love that book. Please read it or listen to his conversations with Oprah Winfrey. Eckhart Tolle is a master.
This is a heavy read. It took me a long time to finish this book, but it
Can't
was
see,
like,
show it better.
yeah, it's
Eckhart Tolle, A New Earth. If
A
you
New
search,
Earth.
if you search Oprah Winfrey and A New Earth, you'll get there's a lot of videos, and she has conversations with the author, because like Ho said, it's a tough book. I had to read it twice, maybe 3 times. But when you hear the conversation, it helps to sort of disseminate the really heavy information that he's
So I can go through
expressing.
YouTube.
yeah,
Yeah.
there's on YouTube.
Or yeah.
Emily is holding another book by Eckhart Tolle.
Oh my God. I have
Oh,
2 or
yes.
3 of his book. I love it.
Excellent. So
Oh my
good.
God. Guys, what's the name of the author again? I'm sorry.
Eckhart Tolle.
So
Eckhart.
good. Changed
Tolle.
my life.
So when, not that we're going to have a book club, although we might actually, I don't know.
We should. I'm into
my-
reading.
What have I created? I've created monsters. The level of skill and knowledge that you acquire by reading all of this, I mean, it really changes the way you talk to people. Communication is everything. Because I still think, like every time you have, look, everything I want is going to come from somebody else. Because if I already have it, I don't want it. I don't need it. And so whatever I need is going to come from someone else. And so in order to communicate what I need or want, you have to be able to communicate really well. So it would always come from someone, or someone that can take you there on their shoulder. Okay, so just keep that in mind. Anyways, feel free to contact me anytime. Hope you learned something new today. Let's go out there and get some more people's, make some more people's lives better. Oh, please, when you wake up in the morning, I hope you are in a state of mind of, wow, what a beautiful day. Gee, whose life can I make better today? Okay. I think we all do that in a subconscious way, but be purposeful. Okie dokie. Artichoke. Have a fun Monday. Let's go sell some houses, get some escrows open, get some new listings. As well,
Amen.
7 agents.
Thank you, Ho.
Thank you,
Thank you
Ho.
for the
All right.
class.
Thank
Ho.
you, Karen.
Thank you,
Thank
Ho.
you.
Thank you, Karen.
Thank you. Bye.
Okay, see you guys later.
Yeah.